Why was Charlie Kirk murdered? A lot of people are pretty convinced that they already have the answer. I think I know what the answer is. Um, but I'm sure over the next several days or weeks, we'll get a lot of analysis, insight, new evidence will present itself. They will be interrogating the person responsible. The left has already told us why they think he was murdered. In fact, in celebratory fashion, they've said that this is everything from karma to a curse to essentially just what he had coming. They'll say that it was because he was divisive. MSNBC has suggested that it's because he regularly incited violence. The typical accusations have to do with accusing him, like they accuse pretty much all of us for any disagreement, of bigotry, sexism, racism, fascism. And of course, he, along with the rest of us, are threats to democracy. And so, if all that's true, well, then I guess why wouldn't they celebrate? But it isn't true. None of it. Charlie wasn't any of those things. Charlie, perhaps more than most of us, went out of his way to try to engage with people who disagreed with him. It could get tense at times, but I didn't know Charlie to try to deliberately belittle people. He genuinely wanted to convince them. He was convinced, as our faith commands, that our fight was not ultimately against flesh and blood, and that ultimately the thing that was going to save us as a country, as a civilization, as just as individuals, was not going to be found in politics. It was going to be found in Christ. I think he was murdered not because of all the slanders that were thrown at him. I think he was murdered because he was very good at what he did. And what he did was not incite or hate. What he did was articulately explain both the problems that we're experiencing in this country and offer solutions to them. And he did it in such a way, and he did it in the very places that were the least open to hearing it. But he did it so effectively that he convinced people. He gave a lot of people that were honestly seeking, that maybe didn't agree with him when they started the conversation, he gave them something to think about, and he always left open the possibility of reconciliation, even of peaceful coexistence with people that didn't agree. I think that's why he was murdered, because he was effective. What remains to be seen is how we will respond to it. Charlie would have reminded us that in the book of Romans, we are not to be overcome by evil, but to overcome evil with good. I know that is true, but I don't feel it right now, because it is very difficult to watch a good man bleed out in front of his children and not want to return evil with vengeance, and to know that you're capable of it, to know that you can do it, but to be reminded that vengeance is the Lord's. In obedience to my faith, in memory of Charlie, I will not be overcome by evil. But understand something. While my faith requires me to love my enemies and pray for those who curse me, it does not require me to sit idly by as savagery and barbarism takes over the country I love. And so I will fight that. And if evil chooses to manifest itself in flesh and blood, then I will be forced to fight flesh and blood. I don't know what anybody praising this or those who participate in this think they've accomplished. But I will tell you this much. Something has changed. And I don't know exactly what comes next, but I know this: it will not be like the past, not anymore. Charlie Kirk offered civilization, and he was met with savagery. And there will be a reckoning for that. but I will stay true to my obligation to overcome evil with good. That's all I got to say.